guys, welcome back to Kay and Trey.
We have a special food.
Yes, tasting one.
Tasting one what?
Well, Mexican food. We are trying Diana's Mexican food. This particular location is in Carson, off of Sepulveda. So we have here a Carne Asada taco, and
it's a lot of food. A Carne Asada taco and two ground beef tacos. We have a
wet burrito.
A wet red chili burrito with
shredded beef.
Chunks of beef. It's a lot of food. I don't think I definitely not gonna eat all of this. We have a green chicken burrito, green chili burrito with chicken. And then we have a side of rice and beans.
Yeah.
So we just thought I've never been here before and he suggested it, so we're going to try it well, I want to try it and then we're going to do our discussion in the middle. Taco. We're going to try, so our discussion today is about
marriage and why do marriages today not last as long as our grandparents' marriages.
So we're going to discuss that on our take.
Yeah.
And yeah. So before the food get back cold, because it took me forever to heat everything up because it's heavy. So
it's a lot of food, you guys. A lot of food.
We had a plan to eat a certain amount and then he just decided to add more. So what you want to try first?
Carne asada.
All right. And he don't like spice, so this taco don't have nothing on it but meat and cheese and lettuce, no salsa.
There's a little green sauce in there, but it's fire.
Oh.
What do you think of that one?
It's good. What you think?
I like it. I like it.
And we have our sodas.
We do.
Soda, guys. Soda. Even though it should be water.
Alright, you can test the beef one first.
But we have our own. We only bought one.
Ooh.
Oh.
Oh, okay.
This one broke apart. So maybe we can try this one. No, that's broken apart.
Right, yeah.
So I'll try this. Let's see how it tastes. See how it's gooey and juicy.
Mm. You like that one?
I like food. You didn't get no meat. You have your own fork.
There we go. I like it. Too bad the shell fell apart.
No. Let's get into the discussion. The question is, why don't marriages last like our grandparents' marriages lasted? Well, let's
start off first.
You want to give how long did your grandparents' marriage last?
Yep. Over 60 years.
Both set?
50 years, 45 years and 62 years, to be exact.
And my grandparents' marriage lasted until death did them part. So on both sides, on my mom's side and my dad's side. So I'm sure they had their challenges of marriage. I'm gonna dig into this.
Oh, yeah. So my take on one of my first takes on why they don't last is.
Oh my God, sorry. You see all this juice? He's gonna freak out. He like the driest.
No,
food.
I love wet burritos. So I'm fine with
okay.
that. I think my first reason for why they probably don't last as long is people want everything instantaneous today, and anything that they have to like go through ups and downs, trials and tribulations, or anything that has to take time and patience and working at it, they don't want to be part of it. So I think that's my first reason, and I think people are so fast to throw in the towel when things get difficult that there's never no growth in a relationship because they're so used to everything just being rosy-dozy and never having as many ups and as many downs.
I agree. I think, well, it's hard. One, we are not married. So, we are not married
Yet.
But, we just, you know, saw this question posed and wanted to hit on it, so we can only talk from our personal opinions, not based on being married, because I've never been married and he's never been married. So, and they gave us chips and salsa.
How you like the burrito?
I think I think
You see how that looks really, really good, y'all.
Our marriages, why do marriages not last like our grandparents? Kind of to piggyback off what he said, nowadays people don't want to fight for, you know, anything. They feel like when it's good, everything is good. Like, but once stuff hit like rocky patches, depending on how rocky the patch is, I would say, because it's certain circumstances to me personally that you shouldn't try stay if it's like, you know, but I'm talking about like if it's just, you know, we just stop, you know, trying, or we having like many arguments every day. You know, I feel like people just tend to say, I don't want to deal with that. This is not what I signed up for. I can do better. And they leave instead of trying to figure out
if it's worth staying, or they're never there. They don't take enough time to assess the situation. They're so fast to just be up and out, and I think that is it. But I also think social media and everybody having access to social media nowadays plays a huge part in it too.
You think so?
Yeah, because most people are not mature enough to have grown relationship while having social media.
What does that mean, grown relationship?
I mean, like, knowing that you're going to have ups and downs and not being jealous at the first time you see somebody like your partner's pictures or something, and that going into a hard argument, which questions people's trust. So if you trust the person you're with, you know, social media shouldn't affect your relationship, but a lot of people don't have the self-confidence or trust in somebody. So the minute they see something like that, they automatically go into defensive red flags mode or assuming.
And I don't know what it was about our grandparents' time. I'm not sure if they just didn't, you know, didn't have the, I don't know, what would you call it? Oh, this salsa is hot. I apologize. I should have grabbed some water. But I don't know if they, you know, they were taught to, you know, you work it out, you figure it out, you stick as a family, especially if they had children involved. But I can see how sometimes if, like, something was not right on his end or on my end and it was just no reconciliation, like I said, it's just like, thank you.
Our producer had to bring us some water.
This sauce is hot. I don't know why he needed water, but my throat. Fire. This one is fire.
You don't think the social media has?
I think it depends on the type of relationship you have. Like you said, if then the person is just like if it was like, if I was a social buff, like, are you a social buff and you got a lot of friends and you already had the friends prior to us being together, I shouldn't, you know,
have an issue.
And it also depends on how you're using the social media platform as well. You don't have to be like a page together or, you know, this, but or telling all your business.
Also, nothing. I don't think enough people put God in their relationships.
Oh, we should have started off with that.
I say that one for last because that's the biggest reason. Like, you know, going back to scripture and using scripture to help you through your issues when you come across issues is, I think, a huge part. While our grandparents' marriages did last, they really focused on the word and used the Bible for everyday, general ups and downs when you go through life. And I think that's absent in relationships because it's pretty much absent in school. So that it transpires to them when they're adults. Oof.
We're going to go ahead and try this chicken, sorry, before I get full. So
I think that plays a huge part in it, that they don't have that stability. And then in a lot of situations, they don't have people that they can go to get them the proper advice that has been in there, been through it, dealt with it, that can guide them in the right way to tell them, hey, you got to stick it out sometimes.
So it's like our grandparents' marriage last, but what about who would you go to if you needed to,
I went to my parents, my dad's side of the grandparents, and I always would ask them questions, and I would see what they went through growing up, and that...
You asked a marriage question?
When I was like 14, 15?
I've never asked I want to say I've never asked them marriage questions. I asked them, oh my goodness, why was y'all married so long? That's too long. You didn't get tired? I guess those wasn't really questions. I was just being funny because,
But yeah, I think that really, me seeing them go through ups and downs, I think that played a huge part in giving me some stability to understand that every day, even through marriage, it don't matter how long you've been married, every day ain't going to be peachy. You're going to have to...
You got to figure out how to work through your issues.
I think that's really key. And one thing I can say that we use in our relationship, like she said, we're not married, but what we use in our relationship is we have different little plans in our Bible apps that we go through. Some of them focus on relationships, some of them focus on general happiness, depending on what you're looking for. And just using that and going back to that when we may have an issue with something, going to that and using that to help, like, okay, maybe we should sit down and talk about it, and how do we proceed to get over the issue.
And I'm wondering, if we were to get married, how would the dynamic, of course the dynamics, you want to try the chicken one, is going to change, but he's so weird. He had a whole side of burrito here.
I know, but it's hard because I don't want to put it and open it up.
How would the dynamic change in our relationship? Because, like I said, that's a whole nother level.
It is, but I think sometimes people get scared where they change too much. And I think sometimes you're in a relationship, you need to just, it's a little different when you're married, but you got more growth. But I think when people get married, they do too much stuff different, which is out of their character. And I think that's where they run into some issues. So I think you kind of balance it out. Like, your
I think it's
mindset.
A lot of compromising too. It's a lot of compromising, and if you try to learn it in the relationship dating phase, I'm sure that'll help.
It will.
But you got to think about everything that you're working together. Like, you two become one. So you're doing how to raise kids. If he had a different upbringing on how he was raised than I did, and we trying to figure it out together, how to save money, how to run a household, like everything.
Yeah. But I think as your relationship grows, your mindset should be growing towards, maybe at some point starting a family, getting a house if you already don't have one established. Taking those steps that when you do get married, you're not completely overwhelmed by having to figure out so much. So if you're discussing those things, in your relationship after maybe a couple of years, you're already just, discussing those things and have an understanding of where you guys trying to get to mutually. It'll be a lot easier because you've already had that understanding and that foundation on how to approach it.
Well,
anything else like that?
I'm gonna get to my granny, and I'm gonna ask her, how did her marriage last long? I know she's gonna tell me the Lord, but besides that, I'm gonna find out some more without being jokey, because I'm normally like, ooh, you wasn't tired of that? You wasn't tired of that, granny? And so, just to figure it out. But what do you think about this chicken burrito?
I like the green chili. It's good. The chicken is really...
Okay, what would you rate it? The tacos, the red chili.
Tacos?
No, like who would be first, second, third?
Oh, first would be the red chili burrito.
First would be the red chili burrito for me too.
Second would be the green chili burrito.
Second would be the tacos.
Really? I like the tacos. Was good, but the fact that the shells cracked,
I know.
I couldn't really. I didn't get that crunch. So
one side had a crunch, one had a.
You're right.
As well as the same as a burrito. Like it's so juicy, it's so wet. You got a wet burrito. It's so wet. It's like the shell is very
moist.
Yeah.
But overall, for the whole food, for everything, on a 1 to 10, what would you do?
Why would do 1 to 10? That's so far. My brain got to stretch.
1 to 5.
I would say a 4.
I'll say 4.
You just want to be like me.
I was gonna say more like 4 1/4, yeah. But you know, the only thing is the shells melt and kind of sogged out on.
But
the
we did go far to get it. Well, not far. Carson's not far, but it's far from where we are. So we had to travel back and then heat it up so that could, like, if I wonder how it would taste if we
ate it fresh.
Ate it fresh, straight.
But as you guys know, most places
they had seating outside though.
Yeah, but I think it was only 2 cents.
It was cold.
So
on the salsa, I give a
5 because it's fire. It's hot.
My salsa just fell back. I'm sorry if y'all wasn't out.
And our producer, I think she agrees with the food tasting. So
our 2 producers. But we just saw that question, and maybe, you know, if we ever got married, we can come back and pose it as,
one of these days
as a married couple standpoint.
I got the ring I want before. I already chose it out.
In his brain and his sleep.
I just gotta go pick it up.
But we're gonna go ahead and finish this food because we just tried it. We're gonna get up in this thing.
And feel free to, you know, what's you guys' takes on it. You please drop it in the comments below. And if you have any other advice or questions that you want to ask us, how we approach our relationship, or, you know, why we have it.
Or your take on why marriages don't last like our grandparents' marriages did. If your grandparents' marriage lasts long, who knows? But let us know what you think. Like, share, subscribe to the link below. Click on those notifications.
And we will leave the directions and the website to the place we went to tonight. So,
directions? We giving directions?
We can.
Oh, okay.
So,
thanks for watching us. Let us know what y'all think.
And until next time. Bye, guys.